A message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib
Like I'm Gatsby. I need
in
it.
hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit. Never been a threat.
Let's go. Jersey Day in the studio. Shout out to Lando Norris, my favorite Formula One driver.
Yeah, Formula One driver.
Just won his first Grand Prix. I got this from the McLaren store as a gift during Formula One week, so that's why I got it on. Actually, the only time I wore this was with you when we did the year in review episode. George
Yeah.
Carmona in the building.
George Carmona. Corey Seager, World Series winner.
Nice.
Oh,
know,
that's
it's-
right. Did you
Yes.
buy that as like a commemorative?
Of course.
Did he leave,
I-
right? He left.
No.
He's still there?
They paid him so much money.
Oh, he's
He got one of them baseball, you're never leaving the Texas Rangers. That was their first World Series that they had ever won. So,
Oh, nice.
and he was a prominent player. The one game that I went to see in the World Series, I bet Corey Seager to hit a home run and the Rangers to win 6-1.
Nice.
Cash.
Fire, bro.
I was just stacking cash.
I
I had a
fucking-
60-1 ticket for them to win the World Series, and I'd put $20 on it.
60-1. That's nice.
Yeah.
I would have put 1,000 on that shit.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Well, he's new to the game.
Oh, okay.
He's still a young.
I would
buck.
have just did it.
He's learning.
Well, yeah.
He's learning.
I got it. The Reds right now are at a perfect spot. The Reds are at like 45-1. Time to sprinkle a little bit on them.
I still like the
Fucking good.
Dodgers to win it.
Oh yeah, but the value's so
It's so low. It's so low, but I mean, I just feel like the script, just what's written right now, it's the Dodgers. I mean, they're not doing. I mean, they do what they want to do, but I just think the Dodgers.
The voice you hear is Wayne,
It's popping,
back in the
y'all.
building. Wayne, the creator,
Back in the
Mr.
building.
Mr. Viral. That video going viral, bro. Can you tell us about that? You're the one that filmed that Tank and Devin Haney video outside of
actually-
what was
actually-
that? What was that at?
It was at Fountain Blue, and I guess the story is they gave Tank the wrong keys, and I guess he was messing around, and it just kind of escalated and just went from there. But it's they always gonna get into it. They have they don't really like each other. Like Devin and Tank don't like each other for real. They don't. That fight is gonna be a fireworks show. They do not like each other.
yeah. They got to put on the show for that, like how it was when Ngannou fought Tyson Fury out in Saudi Arabia, and there was like a 2-hour-long concert before the boxing match. They had like the arena elevated. You know what I mean? Yeah. It'll be iconic.
They gotta win that fight. That's gonna be a huge.
They'll do it in the Sphere,
Yeah, that would be fire too.
possibly.
I'm interested to see how how that fight pans if it does happen. But I know from what Tank says, he's working on a network deal for 7 fights. So once you get into those kind of deals, they only want blockbusters. So he's at risk of losing.
Well, I do like, I'm not the biggest. Become more of a boxing fan, honestly, because of you,
Palms
bro.
itching, huh?
Yeah, left hand.
That's a good.
That's a good sign, bro. Left hand is itching. I fuck with that you know about that
that's
too.
a good sign.
I got into boxing, man. I always was super casual, right?
Mm.
But after you got me Teofimo Lopez on
Yeah.
here and you made that connect, I appreciate you, man, because that video went crazy. A lot of viral clips and just that episode as a whole went really well. Seems like from then on, bro, we've just been getting a lot of big fights, and it's cool because like I just gravitate to the UFC because I train martial arts, and I also just like it because like, bro, boxing ain't never putting on an event like 300
No,
where it's
no.
14 fights, 13 fights, and it's just banger after banger. Where in boxing, a lot of it is just the main event.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it just the main event? Like I've seen pictures of people in the crowds. when
Yeah,
the
but I
event
think
starts.
boxing is starting to like catch on. I think for this Tank and Frank fight that their undercard is loaded, and I think boxing is starting to catch on because UFC does a great job of making the night eventful.
Right.
Like we're not anticipating the main event. I'm damn near like, damn, is this the main event? Every fight's a main event, but UFC has more of a kill or be be killed business model. Like, no, this is who you're fighting, and you're fighting them on this day. Plus, there's way more UFC fighters because it is an international sport and an international business. Not to say boxing isn't, but there's more people. I mean, if you go in foreign countries like China and Asia and those places like that, bro, gyms are full of future UFC fighters, like full of them. Like, that's jiu-jitsu and taekwondo is a lifestyle culture in these other countries, not boxing. Like, so I think it's easier to get UFC fighters, and they come in abundance. They come in a load. You know what I'm saying? That's why you can venture off and have different divisions of it, because there's so many of them. With boxing, it's a rarity, that especially with good fighters. In boxing, you get knocked down the ladder once you lose once. UFC, they come in there 36-16. Fighting for a championship. In boxing is you get knocked down the ladder, and now you got to fight your way back up, and it make it really hard for you. You know, so I think boxing needs to get back to the combat sport mentality and not the king of the throne. I think that should just go straight combat. Like, if you selling tickets, even if you lose against this guy, people like you, we're gonna bring you back to fight another guy who has a belt.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, man. Because I feel like the thing with boxing is, and that's dope if they're doing that with the cards, because UFC, you go to the pay-per-view for the whole event. You don't go for the main event.
It's eventful. It's a whole day.
Yeah. Yeah, it legit is. Like, bro, you're going to get to the arena at 4 o'clock. You're not going to leave till 10.
Well, if you're here,
10:30
till 11.
Yeah. And so, like, shit, when I went to Miami for $299, I got to the corner of where the Heat play at 1:34, bro. I remember I looked at my phone. I was like, yo, this is wild, bro. Fucking UFC fights in the East Coast are trash for that reason.
Oh, yeah.
Staying up that late, or when you go to the
good.
event, it's terrible, man. It's terrible. But let's get into some NBA playoffs. We just saw the Knicks go up 2-0 on the Pacers. I thought it was over in the first half because Brunson went down.
Oh, no.
He only played, I think, like 8 minutes in the first half, and it looked bad. Knicks Twitter was going through it. I was just like, bro, come on. We've been praising this guy. He's had 4 straight 40-point games. Everything's going well. Brunson mania is running wild, and that happens. And I was like, oh, this is typical Knicks shit. I text Cam and Mace because they're like, yo, bro, pump the brakes. Knicks, we've been here before. We've been watching basketball longer than you. Like, you guys get hyped about it, and then some dumb shit happens. And I texted him. I was like, damn, bro, you guys are right. I should have listened. And then when Brunson just even got on the court in the second half, I was like, we're so back. And then they went on a 27-6 run. We were watching the game out there in the third quarter in Indy.
Yeah, they lose the next game in Indy.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Game they struggle, may pull it off, and then they go back to New York and may close it out there. But Indy at home, them shots fall, and they fall from all over the court.
Yeah.
And
so
the
this
Knicks
is
defense is
this is
spotty.
This is a spot that I love to bet on, even if it's against my team. I'm taking the Pacers in the first half of that game.
Oh, yeah, you got to, dude.
It's
They're gonna be up by 10.
It's 3-1 this year in the playoffs. It's just a good spot. And to your point, Wayne, because they got to win game 3. So they're going to come out. Home crowd is going to be behind them. They're probably going to get some whistles early on. Knicks are up 2-0. Indy's back against the wall. The role players are going to play better at home like they always do. And I think this is a classic spot. I love it. I love betting on teams that are down 2-0 going home for game 3. You know, it's different like with Minnesota because Minnesota's up 2-0. We'll get to them in a little bit. But the concept has always been like just a spot that I really like to target. But look, man, you take care of business at home. The Knicks should be undefeated at home in the playoffs. They let that one game
in Philly. There's multiple times, even as the game was closing out tonight, that we were like, damn, man, are the Knicks going to really give this one up? Jalen Brunson I don't even understand how he makes some of these shots happen. He's playing like Isaiah Thomas did for the Celtics about 7 years ago at this point.
He's good.
He's definitely good. He's crafty. Something tells me that he is going to run into a defensive scheme that is able to stop him. I don't think teams are paying how many times do you have to see somebody put up 40 points before you start throwing different looks at them?
Yeah.
And I think teams are like underestimating him, and they're like, all right, no, we're just gonna leave him 1-on-1, dude. He's 6'4". Like he's not gonna make this play, and he does. So I think they're gonna run into a wall. I think Indiana needs Miles Turner to step up. I mean, he was a big reason why they were able to advance against the Bucks, and yeah,
and the Knicks just
They
lost.
give up too many points though. Indiana do. They want to outscore you.
Yeah.
Not out. The thing isn't to shut you down. It's to score 157 or 149.
Yeah, their games this year were wild.
Yeah,
bro. There were some games you didn't even need overtime, and they were getting to 150, 138.
So
Yeah,
it's
dude.
bro, they're not a defensive minded team. Indiana is just happy to be here. They're happy to be mentioned and even in these discussions. I mean, it's taken a while, but I don't think they've gotten the defensive side down yet. I think it's still like, let's just do what the Warriors do, because that's really the game that they're mimicking. But that's really not the game anymore. They have to play defensive.
Yeah.
They got to think defense like the Timberwolves are doing.
it's very true. Physical,
Well,
physical.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. And I think the one craziest thing about what the Knicks are doing is, the Villanova boys.
It's real.
I
big.
like
Again,
that though. When
they
I
s-
seen that, I said, okay. I mean,
Yeah, they scored 76 points combined in game 2 and game 1. They scored 92 points, so that's 160, 168 in 2 games, right? Like that's the big 3 for the Knicks right now. And then when you get contributions from OG, who's supposed to be this like 3-and-D guy, but definitely more of a defensive
Right.
perks, right? Like you want
Yeah.
him more for your defensive stuff. When he goes out there and he drops 28, Knicks are gonna be a hard team to have to go up against, because you
For
know what
sure.
you're gonna get from Brunson. DiVincenzo has been the second best Knick for like the last 3 months now. That's why in some of those Sixers games that they lost, it was like, damn, you can't be having 11 points or 8 points. Like you need to be dropping your 20. And he had 28. Brunson, despite missing a chunk of the first half, he had 29. And they shoot like efficiently.
Yeah.
10 to 20, 11 to 19. Right? Like they're getting these buckets, and it's not volume that is getting them there. Like there's some guys that'll drop 40, but they've taken 42 shots. And you're like, yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah,
I
a
hope
James,
you get
a
that.
James Harden
A
40,
James Harden.
Right.
a Bradley Beal 40.
So I think I do think that it's probably going to be 3-1 going into game 5.
Yeah,
I think that the Knicks-
Wait, 3-1 Knicks.
Yeah.
Like, so you think they'll win the second game before they go back to New
Yeah, I'm
York?
with you. I think that Indiana wins game 3.
Yeah, I think Indiana wins game 3. I think game 4 was going to be a stretch for the Knicks, only because Indiana played really, really hard against Milwaukee that game, dude. And it's Indiana just makes shots at home,
Yeah.
and they get the calls. Halliburton goes off at the crib every single time. He's shooting from half court. So if the Knicks win game 4, right?
Mhm.
It was 4, right? They win game 4, it's going to be a squeeze. I'm talking maybe 120, 123. They get that squeeze, and then they go to New York, and then that game will probably be even tough too, because
Yeah.
I think Indiana's going to play tough these next 2 games. They match up well with them. The Knicks can score, but Indiana can score too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing with the Knicks, man, is, their guys, like even OG pulled up, grabbing his hamstring, and then Brunson got hurt too when he left in the first half. And you're like, bro, come on.
We got to
dude.
see what's wrong with Brunson too,
Yeah.
because if this is going to affect this game after it sets in, then game 4, we just have to see, because Brunson has to, how many points he have today? 29.
He had 29,
29.
yeah.
He had 29 points today. He has to stay at 29 to 30 points a game in order for them to win. And they won
Oh,
by
without a doubt.
How many points did they win?
103, 121. They covered also.
103, 121.
130 to 121, excuse me.
130 to 121.
Yeah.
Bronson scores 10 points less. We got a game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Brunson needs to be definitely needs to be in the mid 30s. Like, yo, his point total was 37.5. How crazy is that?
What the
Well, dude, it's
I mean,
public
inflated.
perception.
Yeah, I
and
know,
inflated
it's
too because he's
inflated.
had
Yeah.
4 straight 40-point games. They showed the graphics where the last person to do that.
37.5 is crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I took the under. I took the under on him and the over on Halliburton because Halliburton only had like 6 shot attempts in the first game.
Yeah.
He was like an embarrassment, and then he covered that in the first quarter pretty much. He had like
For sure.
14
He
in the first
ended up
quarter.
with 34.
And again, that goes back to like, yo, you said something on the last show about how, or it might have even been before, we've been recording for so long, but guys now are playing.
Yeah.
Right?
Right now, yeah.
They're playing. They're going to play like, bro, Josh Hart, 48 minutes. DiVincenzo, 44 minutes. Brunson, 32 minutes, only because he got banged up in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
These guys they're going to bounce back
Mm-hmm.
when they have a shitty game. So one of my favorite things to do in the playoffs, bro, is where like, say for example, just to make this point, Tatum in game 2 scores 11 points. You know what I'm doing in game 3? Over.
Yeah.
33.5, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Too low.
Doesn't.
37.5, too low. He's going over. Because the alphas in the playoffs, they bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, again, how I say bet on the team down 0-2 coming home. The studs, the real alphas, the Donovan Mitchells of the world, where you're the clear alpha on your team, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum. If they have a shit game, I'm backing them the next game.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. Jalen Brunson upsets me.
Be careful.
I know.
Be careful,
This is a New
'cause-
York podcast,
Right.
but like
but I'm saying just like social media, Knicks fans are going to come after you.
Why does he upset you?
because I just feel like I'm not even a NBA basketball coach, but I would be able to drop a better defensive scheme to stop this little guy.
Oh, I
Then-
get what you're saying. He's saying he upsets him in the sense of like
It's
why
just
can't
like
they
I
stop
don't
him?
get how
Yeah.
he is dropping 40 at all in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is this just a run? I'm almost willing to take this this leap of faith to say
No, I think we're seeing a birth of Bronson, bro. I think we're seeing a birth.
we said the
of this
same
dude.
thing about Isaiah Thomas with the Celtics.
Yeah,
And it's just like
I think
it's here
we're seeing a
until it's
birth.
not.
I think we're seeing
And if they
the
lose,
NBA does play a small ball game, even so I think Bronson is one of those players who is coming to himself. He's becoming a real NBA player. He's maturing in this league, and I think that he's really good at what he does. He's not a Kyrie Irving, but I would definitely bet
Yeah.
my money on him to get us to where we need to get to, bro. He's a dog.
I think he's at the point now where NBA coaches are definitely, obviously, they're game planning for him, but like they don't game plan for him like the way they would like a superstar. You know
Well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
because he
And I
doesn't.
think that's why he's going out there and he's dropping
He doesn't
40.
have the
That's what I'm
appeal.
saying. Like he's not experiencing what
Kyrie Irving is experiencing
Jokic
when
gets, or
yeah.
Good.
LeBron.
Keep sleeping. It's good for the
Of
Knicks.
course,
Yeah.
Hopefully, Rick Carlisle can fucking wake up,
Well, I think
drop a better D. Pause.
he's been given a team though too. Remember in Dallas, it wasn't his team.
True.
He's come to New York, and again, this is what I said on the last show with Josh on Monday. I was like, yo, New Yorkers in particular, we can shit on him. We can shit on our people. We're not going to let you do it.
Mm.
Like, that's just how New Yorkers are. And
Mhm.
especially when you're the fucking point guard for the Knicks, when you've had Pablo Prigioni and Tony Douglas and fucking, oh my God, Langston Galloways
I
of
mean,
the
you
world.
still remember
as
their
your-
names, bro.
It's been hard. It's been hard. Have you
Right.
seen that TikTok trend where it's like you couldn't survive in the asylum I was raised in? It's all like Knicks starting fives in like the 2014s to 2018 season. And it's a lot of crazy shit. And then, everybody slandered him even going to the Knicks, what they paid him. And now you're looking at that contract like, yo, that might be the best contract in the league for what he's giving you. Dude, he was probably the best player in the East this whole season.
Mm.
He was unbelievable. And outside of Anthony Edwards, I think he's clearly been the best player in the playoffs. Like without a doubt. Best player in the East, hands down.
Yeah.
I'd say Ant-Man has done some wild shit, so I don't want to get too crazy and sound like a homer. But, man, it's like 1A, 1B between the two of them.
He's electric.
The last thing, to your point, Brunson, they gave him the keys to the city and to the team. Like, yo, bro, we're going to run everything for you. We want you to be here. The fans rock with you. The players like playing for you. And something needs to be said about that too, man. When guys want to go to war for you, I think that's something that, like, money can't buy. So that's why I think Brunson is he's that guy. Now, look, I don't think they're going to win a title. Hell, I don't think they're going to get to the finals. Can they push the Celtics to 6? Yeah, because they played the Celtics pretty well.
Yeah.
Can they make it a grueling series? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
but the Celtics is going.
but they're stacked, bro. They have a
Yeah.
really good team. Like, the Celtics are super
I
stacked.
feel like OKC is going to. After watching them play Dallas yesterday.
All right, so let's talk about that series, man, because
Remember when we talked over it was All-Star break and there were all those trades were happening and I said the best thing that happened in All-Star break was PJ Washington going to the Mavericks.
yeah.
That's the best. That was the best pickup in that trade market. Was the best thing for Dallas because PJ is their Draymond Green. He's their Draymond. Dallas runs an appreciative, grateful organization. They love their players. They treat them really well. And I think he's fitting in great. He's meshing well. He's doing what he needs to do. He's their cleanup guy. He's their grit. He's their muscle on that team. They needed that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great fit. I think he's one of the reasons why Dallas got that huge push and momentum after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
It's definitely him. Now, what happens now is playing this OKC team is very, very tough because they have so many people on that team that can score. That starting five can all give you 20 points each.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad thing about that OKC team is that everybody can score. Dallas doesn't have enough people in the high double-digit numbers to compete with this team. OKC would have to have multiple off games, which is very, very rare for Dallas to actually come out of the series. And I like Dallas a lot, but I just think that, Kyrie would have to score 50.
Yeah.
Luka would have to score 50. PJ would have to score a minimum of like 28 to keep up with them. And then you would have the other two supporting cast. But, it's just too much. It's that
Agreed.
OKC team can score too many scores on that team.
There's something to be said about when you have two premier superstars and the way that the shots get divvied up. And when you look at OKC, it's like, yes, Shea is our ultimate superstar, but there's no, at this moment in time, like their second superstar is looking to be identified. So like they're willing to share the sugar a little bit more. And I think that helps them out greatly. When you look at the Mavericks, I'm looking here, they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They played 13 guys in the last game versus OKC. And to even get everybody a shot is actually like mathematically impossible to do.
Well, yeah, and also to your point about how many guys they have on the team that could get buckets, I also think the amount of guys that they trust to go out there and play. Like, bro, the Knicks play 7 guys.
Yeah,
a lot of teams are like, yo, we're going down with the ship. You're all playing 40-plus minutes. George is off the bench. He's going to play 28. And that's it. And that's what Oklahoma City has. And to your point, like, Luka and Kyrie, and that's why what I was saying before, for Rebet, go to Rebet, use promo code VM. They'll match your deposit up to $100. I've already made this play. Luka over 30.5 points, Kyrie over 23.5 points. Both of them had shit games in game one. Was it rest versus rust? Because the Mavericks played a pretty, it was a tough series against the Clippers. A lot of animosity between them. And then the Thunder, had like a week off because they swept the Pelicans. And also, like, Shea looked like an afterthought in that series because they didn't need him to do anything. And he comes out in game one and drops 29. Was I believe he finished second in MVP voting, by the way. Jokic won the MVP.
Yeah.
They announced that today. But I've already taken Luka over 30.5, and I've taken Kyrie Irving over 23.5 on Rebet. Use promo code VM. I love it because, to Wayne's point, them two got to combine for 65, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't got scoring anywhere
Actually
else.
a little bit more.
I know, yeah,
65.
but they need to have. They need to have that. They need to have that.
They got to go 45 to 50 points each a game against this OKC team in order for them to keep up score wise. OKC has so many different players on that team. They 5 can put up 20, 20, 20, 20. That's 100 points right there. You know what I'm saying? So Kyrie needs to have 40, 45. Luka needs to have 40, 45. PJ need to have a minimum of 25 to 28 points to keep up with them just from a scoring standpoint. Not anything else athletically, but just scoring. That the Mavericks have to be able to score buckets with them because they score a lot of points. And they score them in the high bunches. It's just 2-3, 2-3, and they fast. They down, boom, check, going from here to here, score. They have to score, bro. That's the thing about this matchup. It's not that they're outmatched. They're getting outscored.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, it's kind of like correlated parlays. You ever heard that expression before?
Yeah.
Where I'm a big correlation guy. I think that's a great word.
Wow.
Right?
Somebody passed algebra 2 over here.
Not me.
Listen, I hear correlation. I'm a little stimulated.
All right.
All right. So what you could do is you could do a bet of Luka and Kyrie over their point total with a Mavericks money line. You get about plus 900 on that. Because, again, it's correlated. They're not going to win that game if them two score 20 and 19 points in order for them to win. So those are the kind of things that you can kind of build your parlays around. Like, does the parlay make sense? You can't take under on Kyrie and Luka and then take the money line. That don't make sense because it's not correlated. Whereas maybe in this scenario, you throw in, if you want to get super greedy, throw in like a Shea under 30.5. In that. So it's like, all right, in order for the Mavericks to win, Shea needs to have a shit game and the other two need to have an explosive game. So those are the kind of approaches that you can make also. But for me, I'm not tripping too much. I think that was just a bad performance from Luka and Kyrie. Luka was 1 of 8 from 3. Kyrie was pretty efficient.
How many points did Luka have?
Luka had 19.
And Kyrie had what?
20.
And PJ had 11, right?
Yeah.
And what was the final score?
117 to 95.
117 and 95, so that was a 22-point deficit.
Yeah. If Kyrie and Luka get their 30, that's
if Luka,
we're going to overtime.
If Luka scores his 10, PJ averages about 12 right now. So if Luka scores his 10 extra, so that put him at 29, right? So then if you said 95?
Yeah.
That'll put them at 105. Kyrie needed how many?
Kyrie had 20. Need another 10.
20. So that puts them at 115.
Yeah.
And you said that the score was 122.
117 to 115. And then it's one possession there.
You said 117?
Yeah.
So that puts them at a 2 points. So let's say if PJ get another dunk, okay, so PJ has 13, 2 points more. Yeah. So they have to, bro. They're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna win the series if them two aren't going crazy. And then with this series and every series, when you're on the road, your studs. Like I was saying before about if Tatum shits the bed, you take him the next game. That's why I like Luka and Kyrie and why I made those plays on Rebet, because on the road, bro, your main guys have to perform to their standards. And then if you get a random Gafford 16-point game on the road, you're like, all right, dope, because you know those guys perform well at home because you get the crowd behind you. Like, that's different. You play more comfortable at home. But on the road, if you do get that random performance from a guy, you need your studs to also have their standard performance.
Yeah.
The Mavs need to get the next game.
Yeah.
For sure.
They have to get the next game.
Kyrie Irving's been playing the best basketball that he's played in a long time. I think, if anything, he's got to be the one that leads the way. There's still a piece to Luka that is like,
but
this is where my roadblock has been for the past 2 years. Kyrie, please, for the love of Christ.
You've been here, you've won it. Yeah.
But do something.
Luka has
lead
to
the
step
way.
up right now. Kyrie's been leading. Kyrie gives it his all, bro. And he's little.
Yeah.
He gives
When
it his
Kyrie
all.
does it, it looks a billion times better than when Jalen Brunson does it.
I mean, yeah, because
Just
Kyrie,
small guys getting buckets. Looks great on
adds
Kyrie.
he adds his own style and pizzazz to the game, but I think that Luka has to step up tremendously and help him a lot more. So I think if Kyrie is giving you 30 points, I think Luka need to be right there with 32, 33, or because Luka can get a bucket. He's a bucket for sure, but it's just I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's getting gassed or
He always looks a little tired. He starts the game off tired.
Yeah.
Like, him and Jokic both.
It's a European thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's definitely-
Jokovic look gassed.
Brother, it's called pace. we play with pace. Pick
Yo.
and roll.
Speaking of Jokic, we'll wrap up with this series because honestly, no disrespect. If I could get an ISO cam on this one, I'm going to be a little inappropriate to the Cavs fans, Celtics fans, more so Cavs fans, but also Celtics because we're not going to spend too much time on this. Celtics are minus 9,000 to win the series. For those that don't know, that means you need to put $9,000 up to win 100. Basically, like Tatum can leave, like we were talking about on previous episode, he could leave for a pregnancy,
And they'd be fine.
and they'd be like, "Yo, bro, you know what? Take off, no problem, no hostility."
Put $9
against
million.
him.
The line would
Yeah.
not move.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. So like the Cavs, I mean, the Celtics are they're minus 300 to win the East for a reason. They're minus 9,000 to win this series. Mitchell had a nice game in game one, and they still got spanked. I just think that maybe you win one of those games in Cleveland. I always circle game 3 for teams to maybe if you win that, because then after that, gentleman's sweep? No one really likes that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to spend too much time on that. But I do want to mention, shout out to Rebet. Rebet is a free-to-play social sports book. Users can gain in-app status based on the number of coins they have. You get Rebet cash that is redeemable for real money, or Rebet coins, which is free fake currency that could be used to make your bets. On-app direct messaging between your followers and users. Users can bet directly against their friends with our peer-to-peer betting. Once again, it's my favorite thing about Rebet because I felt like the future of sports betting was going to be peer-to-peer. A lot of people are afraid to play against the house. They feel like the house always wins. So let me bet with Wayne and George as opposed to betting against the Win or any other sports book. Beginners can navigate to the settings and turn on their easy-to-read lines mode, which is something that my mom uses, like I mentioned before. So instead of spread -3, it's to win by more than 3. It's a lot easier for people to understand. Use the promo code VM when making your deposit up to $100 to get $100 matched and to play. And shout out to Ben Kotzian, Patreon member. We're going to give you $100 to go and deposit on that app to play on Rebet using promo code VM. Patreon all month, we're giving out money to Patreon members to go and use on the Rebet app. George, speaking of Rebet, let's close out with the Nuggets and the Wolves. And you know what, Wayne, you could chime in on this one too. Timberwolves, sweep.
Swept, sweeping.
Oh,
Go get the
boy.
broom.
Get the brooms
Our
out.
broom's on sale.
Yeah, they're actually the lows.
So Nuggets plus 490 to win the series doesn't do anything.
No.
We know it don't do
Nuggets
nothing for them.
plus 490.
Yeah, to win the
No.
Oh,
series.
me gusta mucho.
Gusta mucho.
Me gusta mucho.
Yeah.
Very
No.
few teams in the playoffs this year have a level of playoff acumen that makes me like confident going into the semifinals and then the finals. And the Nuggets have it, man. And I think this Timberwolves team has got a huge task ahead of them at home. Sure, it's going to be more comfortable. Sure, I am a huge fan of the way that Anthony Edwards has been playing and the way that he controls himself for being 22 years old and literally dominating the league. It's insane. However, with that comes you're on every headline. If you fuck up, you're going to be broadcast as the villain in that city. And that can sometimes get into a young athlete's mind.
So you think that's going to happen this series?
It's
Doubt it.
I do.
Law
I
of
do
averages
think-
can't even. That's just physics. It's not going to happen. This series is over, bro.
Okay.
It's over.
I will tell you right now that the Denver Nuggets are going to win the next 2 games in Minnesota.
Wow.
No, they
And
won't.
it's going to be a brand new series starting game 5.
Okay, now if that happens, if let's say in that case that you are right, I would be really, really surprised. But the Denver Nuggets lose the next 2 games, and I think they lose them outright. The reason why I say that is, one, Denver Nuggets was down to the Lakers by 23 games in a row. They had to play from behind. The Lakers, honestly, if the Lakers had any dogs on their team, that series would probably still be going on right now. But they don't. The Denver Nuggets have the capability of going down by 20. They showed it, and they just lost by how many? 20. They're gonna show that same. Nothing's gonna change about them. What has happened to the Denver Nuggets is it's not that they're being outplayed by Minnesota. They've been overplayed. The coach has played this team way too much. He's more concerned with winning, numbers wise, than the longevity aspect. And I think they've hit a brick wall and they're gassed. I think that this is what we're seeing. If you look at pretty much their numbers, I mean, Jamal Murray had 0 points one game, bro. This team is tired. But I do like the Joker, but I just think the season's over.
I mean, it's just how
do you win in Minnesota?
This is exactly what this is where Nick and I made a lot of money in the NFL this past year.
Yeah, but this isn't the NFL
situation.
And you got a new face of the league.
But everybody's talking about him. And here's the thing. I know that Anthony Edwards is able to do it. I know that Karl Anthony Towns is going to do it.
Gobert. Don't forget.
I just think that when the Nuggets role players turn it on, like when Michael Porter Jr. is unstoppable, when KCP is like, damn, where the hell did this guy come from? And Jamal Murray shot 3 for 18 this last game.
Yeah. Do you know that the Nuggets hasn't beat the Minnesota Timberwolves all year?
Oh, it's time now.
No.
Backs against the wall.
Nothing's going to change.
Because if you win these next 2 games and that thing that you just brought up is null and void.
It's null and void.
This is when it matters.
Yeah, but they're playing at the crib. The Wolves at the crib. They ain't been here in a long time. They're going to get the calls, and they're going to get them shots. It's hard to beat that team at the crib. It's a different party.
Yeah.
It's their party. It's Minnesota's time. I think it ends in there. They're not coming back to Denver, bro. I think it ends. I think they shoot them in the head twice.
Damn. That's savage.
It's right now the way Anthony Edwards is playing. It's so hard to disagree with you. I don't know, man. It's just something like, Wayne, it could be the betting thing, man.
He's the face of the league, Nick.
I get that.
It's marketing.
I get that. I totally get that, and I understand. I mean, the last 3 thumbnails for the show have been Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, look at Ja.
So I get it.
Ja Morant couldn't cut it.
I get it.
Zion is injury prone, and he can't keep his weight under. He's the guy, and they found him. And they're like, this is our guy. And if they sweep the Denver Nuggets, we may never see the Denver Nuggets in the championship again, because this team is going to keep maturing and they're going to be here a while. The West is a hard place to play. So whoever's coming out of the West, my hat goes off to them. But, bro, every game in the West is a battle. And for them to be blowing the Nuggets out shows who they are.
I mean, bro,
and he's 22, just like you said.
Yeah.
And to say Minnesota, pretty young, Thunder, very young. If that's the Western Conference Finals,
that's
bro,
tough.
Pack it up, West, next couple of years, because
it's going to, bro.
And also, you know what's crazy? The Thunder have, I think, I'm not even, I'd be exaggerating sometime. I'll be like, bro, they have 19,000 first round picks. I think the Thunder over the next 5 years have 19 first round picks. They have a shitload of first round picks. Shea on Instagram, when the Clippers got bounced in the playoffs, he put up the trade that landed him in Oklahoma City. One of the most ridiculous trades of all time. The Clippers got Paul George. The Thunder got Shea, Gallinari. Clippers 22, 24, 26 first round picks. Miami's 2021 first round pick. Miami's 2023 first round pick. Clippers 2023 first round pick with pick swaps, and 2025. That was all for Paul George. and they got bounced in the first round again. And Shea has become all NBA back-to-back years and finished top 3, finished second, was a top 3 nominee for MVP.
Bro,
it's a wrap in the West of them two.
Yeah, it's bro, that this Minnesota team, bro, I would hate to play in the West. You're not gonna get past them too, bro. Chet's gonna get stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
Shea's gonna get bigger. Anthony Edwards' brand is gonna get bigger. They're gonna add more pieces. Cat is his load has been taken off, so he's not gonna be as injury prone. Not sure how long Gobert's gonna be there, but as long as he's doing what he needs to do, bro, we have probably one of the hardest spots to play in, and that's going to be the Western Conference because of the amount of talent. It's loaded.
Yeah.
They beat the Denver Nuggets by a dub. They finished at the 20 mark, bro.
Yeah.
That is hard. That team is good.
Yeah.
Agreed. I will say this. You will not have a runaway win throughout the rest of the series. Like, this series will come down within,
so they'll be losing by 5 the next 2 games.
Within the next, yeah.
Okay, well,
there's no way that they're going to go down like how they did. I think that there's been moments in time in NBA playoff history where teams go on really bad stretches shooting-wise, and I think the Nuggets have done that.
Yeah.
I don't think that lasts.
But now to his point, how he's saying how crazy Minnesota is going to be on Friday, which, by the way, so wild that they have that many days off.
They played Sunday.
No, they played Monday. And they're playing Friday again. That's kind of
bro. They want Minnesota to end this shit.
No, they want. No, I think they wanted the big dog to heal up a little bit. They said, "Joker, take a nice little 4-day, go ride your horse, and just come
we'll
back."
Give you a couple days to go to Serbia.
Yeah, but it's just gonna be tough to play out there.
Nah, it is.
They're going to get the calls, and they don't. The Timberwolves don't want to come back. They want to get their rest because now they can watch OKC and how this Mavs shit unfold.
Yeah,
which I think the Mavs may get 1. I think they may get 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man.
Maybe 2 at the crib. They could go 2-2, but this Minnesota series, it's kind of hard to come back. Y'all lost 2 at the crib.
Yeah,
and 1 blown out, and y'all got to come back to us. Bro,
I want to see, bro. I want to see. I'm really fascinated by game 2. Game 3, because I think it is a young team, and now they're coming home.
Not to cut you off, Jamal Murray, he might get suspended. He threw the heating pad on the court.
Yeah, they haven't said. I thought he was, but I don't think they would have announced.
First off, Mike Malone kissed the referee, and didn't even get a technical.
Yeah,
so.
I think they would have announced.
And then you ask Joker, how do you win? He says duplicating me. So that means
that was a red flag
in that team, bro.
That was a red flag.
He might have given up already.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, we need to wrap up. We just got the word from the control room. Shouts to the guys in the control room. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
George, let the people know where they could find you.
At Mr. George Carmona. I'm going to be helping out with some giveaways. So if you want to bribe me, my Venmo is in. It's a .card link. So make sure you go follow me on Instagram, and that'll be where that's at. Mr. Wayne.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at the Creator, THECR38TOR.
Let's go. At Veterans Minimums, you can find all things VM. At Nick Days, you can find me, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be